Welcome to the Book Carriers, your favorite book club podcast.
I'm Cassandra, the hopeless romantic book carrier.
I'm Angela, the logical book carrier.
And I'm Becca, the sentimental book carrier.
We are three 30-something best friends and busy moms who live vicariously through the stories we read.
So grab your cup of coffee, get comfy, and let's get lost in a great book together.
Hello, book carriers. Welcome back to another episode. We are here tonight. It is 11 o'clock at night, but we are here. And Angela and I are just running on fumes, but Cassandra's had a cup of coffee within the last 30 minutes, so she's going to be probably leading the charge this episode.
I'm a little hyped up on coffee right now, just a little bit.
She recently got a coffee maker, and she's decided that evening coffees is what she's going to do from now on. So
that's a thing. I learned that from my husband. Shout out to my husband. He's an evening coffee guy. Just it's a little treatsy, you know.
Yeah, and so treatsy that will keep you up until 3 a.m.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm testing it out. Okay, it only happened one time recently, and that was the first night that I got the coffee. Not last night, but let's just say the night before, okay? Very recently. Mm-hmm. And I had to test out the coffee maker, and we got it in the evening, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
What kind of coffee maker did you get?
Oh, it was just just average Joe Blow. I think it's like a Hamilton Beach one. You know, it has like the iced coffee option and the brewing, just like hot coffee, I guess. And you know what's funny is I don't really know what it does as far as like how it makes it iced coffee, but it's like it has an iced coffee option, and then you put like a bunch of ice in it and it brews over the ice. So I was like, I wonder if like I just put some ice in there in a regular coffee pot, like how would that, would it be the same? But I brewed it, and I, right after it finished brewing, it comes out hot, goes over the ice. I don't know exactly, maybe they adjust the temperatures. Again, just for our listeners, I have had a lot of coffee right now, so I'm speaking quite fast. But it just made me wonder. It just made me wonder, like, is it really a dual machine, or is it like,
yes,
is it just
it
the
brews
ice?
It differently. If it's going to be over ice, it does it like it brews it
like the temperature, isn't it? It's like a lower temperature. No,
and it also is like it's more concentrated or something because it expects the ice to dilute it some.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
My new Ninja coffee maker has the over ice option, and I've only used it like once, and I made the mistake of putting honey and then ice and then waiting for the coffee, and it just like crystallized my honey.
Yeah.
Like it didn't mix in the coffee. It was a disaster, and I was like, this is why I don't do anything fancy, because I always mess it up. And like now I'll never use that option again.
No. You gotta learn.
Yeah, but now
you
know.
I don't learn from mistakes. The way I live my life is that I make a mistake and I just never do that again. But don't tell my husband, because I like threw a big stink about wanting this coffee maker. Part of the reason because it can do over ice. But, he doesn't listen to the podcast, so he won't ever say that. It's fine. But, okay. Now we've had our coffee talk out of the way. Angela, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I have not had coffee in the evenings. Continuing our coffee conversation.
She hasn't had coffee in 15 hours. And that makes any difference.
Yeah, and that's why she's doing good. Yeah.
That's why I'm talking a lot slower than Cassandra is.
That's why she's yawning while Cassandra goes on and on about her iced coffee.
No, I love it. I love it, though. But yeah, I know we are going to talk about our current read, so I'm excited to share about something that I just read. I think I finished it last night or the night before last, and it's actually a new release-ish. I think it's released in the last few months, but it's such an interesting book and so different than something I've ever read, and actually I've never really heard about, something like it. The book is called Swallowed by Meg Smitherman. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know how to say your last name, Meg.
Interesting.
But yeah, right? Interesting title, right?
Yes.
Swallowed.
I'm intrigued and a little nervous, but go ahead.
And yes, I am not recommending this book for you two ladies because I don't think y'all will enjoy it.
Okay. That's thank you for that. I appreciate it. That's real. That's a real friend right there.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are listeners out there who would enjoy this book. And yeah, I read it, and it's actually a shorter book. It's a shorter book under my standards.
By the way, for our listeners, Angela's standard is manacled, which is like 17,000 pages long. So every book is kind of too short.
Right? It is.
She's like, where's the character development? And it's like, well, I'm sorry I didn't have 75,000 chapters to get you there.
Exactly. So. Okay, this book, Swallowed, it is 180 pages. 180 pages.
That's not a book. That is a short story.
Okay, well, this short story, it's not called a short story, though, is it? I guess it is a novella. So
a novella. Okay. That changes it.
So this is a novella. But yes, it is so short. And it is meant to be short. But yeah, I was like, man, I'm missing a book before it and I'm missing a book after it, like 2 or 3 books after it. And it's kind of like a mix with like mystery, murder, and it's kind of dystopian too. So I'm reading the synopsis off of Goodreads. It is, Earth is broken beyond repair. The planet is our last hope. Humanity's first mission to the planet ended in tragedy, but botanist Jill Jones won't let that stop her from joining the second. Perfect climate, perfect terrain, perfect flora and fauna. The planet has called to Jill all of her life. She knows with bone-deep certainty it's home, a new beginning for humanity. She just needs a chance to prove it. But as Jill and her team survey the planet, a mysterious presence begins to infiltrate their thoughts. When her colleagues start to disappear, it's up to Jill to uproot the planet's secrets before they consume her, her friends, and the one man she would do anything to keep.
Well, that sounds really interesting.
That does sound interesting. Why would we not like it?
I've just been dying to ask. Why wouldn't we like it? Why do you think we wouldn't like it?
I don't know. It incorporates plants. So plants is a huge thing, which is so creative. Like, this is why this story is so unique and creative, because it incorporates plants almost as like a character.
Cassandra and I really do hate nature. So that makes sense. Yeah, we just, you know what?
I've been known to just like, I hate looking at it.
Kick a shrub every time we walk by it. We're like, forget that thing.
Y'all should give it a try if you want. Y'all should give it a try if you want to.
I'm curious. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay, so they incorporate plants.
Yeah, they incorporate plants. There's like murder and mystery to it, and it's intriguing in that way. But I gave it 3 stars just for my personal preference. It wasn't like my cup of tea, because like I said, I was missing like a whole book before it and a whole book like after it. It's just like a short snippet. It wasn't enough like character development, and especially the couple. Didn't have a lot of chemistry for me. And so, yeah. Also, this book is very smut heavy. And so it incorporates the plants into the smut, which is really interesting and really unique.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I know it's interesting. It's unique.
Interesting. She's like, I understand.
There it is. Okay. Now I see why.
But if y'all ever want to read a unique story and just need a change of like scenery, a change type of book. But yeah, listeners,
foreplay.
Exactly.
I think I like plants, but I don't know.
Don't like them
about
that much.
Plants, yeah. Plants plus intimacy.
Yeah.
No.
But no, listeners, give it a try. Give it a try.
Yeah, but yeah, no. The concept does sound very interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of dystopian-ish. I don't know if it's considered sci-fi.
Sounds sci-fi-y.
Yeah,
I mean, if it's got like planet.
But it was a fun experience. Even though it wasn't my cup of tea, I'm glad I read it and I'm glad that I experienced it. And I really enjoyed the author and how she described the whole plant situation. And it was really neat how she tied, essentially making plants a character. So it was cool. So listeners, check it out. If it seems like it'll interest you, give it a chance.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Spell Shop, which is like it's like a cozy, it's like complete opposite of what you just described. It's like very like, it's like cozy, like sets place in a spell shop. Like, it's just very cutesy, but there's a spider plant that's like alive, and he's a main character in it, but he's like Disney like sidekick type character, you know. So that's where I thought you were going with that, and now I won't ever think of him the same. But anyway, but yeah, but the spell shop is cute. Cassandra, are you reading anything right now?
Yeah. No, I before we move on to like my stuff, I just wanted to add it. You know, I was thinking that made me think of Little Shop of Horrors. You know, the plant.
Yeah.
And there's even a part in the play, the musical, where he's like, he tries to like just like put the moves on Audrey a bit, just to entice her, because you know his whole thing is he wants to eat all the humans, he wants to eat them all, and so he's like, well, how can I attract her? Let me just maybe give her a little
cozy up.
Yeah, just give her
maybe
a little
that
like
inspired that idea.
Yeah,
that's why I was like, well, because it's a very specific thing to add into your romance, you know. And so
yeah, it's
anyway.
it was very creative and unique.
Yes.
I like
okay,
it.
So what I'm reading, I think I told y'all about. No, I told y'all about this separately off podcast. I wanted to get into Mistborn. I am just very like just scratched the surface, just started it. I'm like 10% in, and I do like it. It is very there's no romance involved whatsoever. But it's got a good story. Let's see here. This is it's a fantasy series by Brandon Sanderson, and it follows a world ruled by an immortal tyrant, the Lord Ruler, where a group of allomancers, including the Mistborn, a rare individual with access to allomantic powers, plots to overthrow him. And you know what? There's like the prologues, the pre-chapters is like, you know, I'm listening to this book, and it was like it was like 36 minutes long of just giving you that backstory and building the world. And I was like, whoa. But hey, you know what? I know what's going on now because they took the time to really describe it. So I'm really excited. Yeah, I just like the idea of like they're just trying to overthrow the government, and they're a group of thieves. They're a group of like con men type things, and like there's the main girl is like 16 years old and she's got powers. I do have to emphasize this is not a romance at all, so it's like it's just like coming into her own, coming of age. But what I like about it is it's got like some subtle humor. If you don't want any Mistborn spoilers, skip ahead like a minute or two. I want to bring up like one little tidbit. So she's 16, and there's this part where it's kind of like, we bring you to our world, you're poor. They're called the Ska. They're they're the less fortunate. And so like she gets a bath and things like that, and they offer her a drink multiple times. They try to get her to drink something, and she's like, no, I don't take drinks from other people because I never know like what they would do to it. And I'm like, yes, you really shouldn't take drinks from other people. You don't know who these people are. Go, girl. So anyway,
I feel like that's your mom instinct too.
Like, yes. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, that's such a mom thing to take from.
Right.
Yes.
Like, don't, because it is. So she's 16 and like these men are like 40, you know, but she has these powers that like, you know, ooh, she's unique. She's got powers. And so she's special. But yeah, I like that. It's like just realistic. Like, yeah, I'm not drinking that. I don't know what you put in that. So anyway,
that's very mature for a 16-year-old.
Yeah. I appreciated that. Yeah,
that's awesome. I do eventually want to read Mistborn, but it's definitely high fantasy, right? Would you classify it as high fantasy?
I would, but I think you would like it because you like that detailed. You said you like, you know, you like books that are like 600 pages. Like this would give you all of that stuff, and the story is good. It's like it's the age old story of like the hierarchy just, you know, treating the lower class poorly, and they're like, no, we need to overthrow this guy, so let's all get together. We're all a bunch of like misfits, like let's go. You got the powers, my little 16-year-old friend, let's go, you know. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, how about you, Becca? Did you talk about what you're reading?
No, I did last week a little bit, but right
Okay.
now I'm reading The Rose Bargain, which is a beautiful cover. I showed this on the last episode too, but the inside is just beautiful.
Yeah.
And what really got me with this book was because people were saying had very similar vibes to The Selection, which is a book series that I like devoured when I was in high school. I just absolutely love that series. And they were like, it's like a mix between The Selection and Bridgerton, which is like one of my favorite shows, and The Cruel Prince. And so I was like, well, sign me up. That sounds amazing. And I'll read the insert here. It says, high society girls are expected to bargain for qualities that will win them suitors, a rare talent for piano in exchange for one's happiest childhood memory, a perfect smile for one's ability to taste. But Ivy's debut season arrives with a shocking twist, a competition to marry the queen's Fae son. Faye, she's immediately like, nope. A competition to marry the queen's Fae son, Prince Bran. It's a prize that could save Ivy's family from ruin and free her older sister from the bargain that destroyed her. Yet every glittering Fae deal has a rotting heart, and amidst lavish balls, vicious competition, and a dangerous alliance with the prince's rakish younger brother, Prince Emmett, Ivy realizes that at the center of this contest lies a dark plot that could destroy all of England and her heart with it. So, I mean, it has like everything that you would want in a book, right? It has a love triangle between two brothers. It has, a corrupt, royal family. It has, a competition to win a heart. It's, it has all the makings of, but y'all, this has been so rough. And I'm so disappointed because I really was thinking this was going to be my favorite book of all time. Like knowing what all different tropes it had in it. When I was reading it, I was like, this is laying out exactly like a Bridgerton episode. It's like she took these different ideas from these different and just kind of put them and didn't twist them enough to make them her own, on top of the fact that so far, like, the character development just hasn't been there for me. Like, it's been very, I need a little bit more depth to these characters. And like, it's very obvious, like, the brother that she's not in the competition for, but the other one is like the one we're supposed to like. And I think like I'm already supposed to be there, but I don't see him enough, or whenever I do see him, I don't have enough depth for me to really be like, oh, like eating it alive, like kind of thing. I'm just kind of like, like he's okay. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to get through right now, but I don't even know if I'll finish it, to be honest, which is a lot for me because I finished if I start. So
yeah. Is it considered a YA though, or no?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, and that's one of the reasons that I read it too, is because I heard it was like closed door, like not spicy, young adult. And like the characters are, I don't know, like 16 or something.
Yeah.
So I was so excited. Like literally like my favorite tropes, my favorite book series, my favorite show, like all combined into one. And like the Rose Bargain, my daughter's name is Rose. Like I was just like, oh, like this book was made for me. Yeah. And I've been like, and it probably could have been like semi-okay and I still would have eaten it up because of that. So like you have to know it's like really not good if I'm really not liking it. Like with all those things combined, and I'm still like not impressed. So
I wonder if like the fact that it is YA, if that has anything to do with it. Like I know we read Binding 13, but that was like that was different. It's a YA, but it's different.
Yeah, it's a YA, but I wouldn't suggest it for a YA. Like so far from what I've read, like if a freshman girl told me that they wanted a book recommendation, this is what I would recommend to them. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so it's just, I just think it's a little bit too young. But the thing that makes me so mad is that all the people that I see promoting this book are my same age, read the same style of books that I do, and some of them are absolutely loving it, but the videos that they're posting promoting it are ads, and that makes me a little upset because I feel like I was a little misled by some of my favorite other book reviewers, because maybe they did really love it, and that's fine, but I have a hard time believing that right now.
Yes. Shout out to our last episode where we dive deep into exactly what you just mentioned, Becca.
Yes.
So, listeners, if you haven't listened to that episode, go check it out.
Go check it out. Yes.
Our take on the topic.
Yes.
It's a hot topic.
Yes. Hot. So But I have, I've been thinking about it, and I bought it and I haven't read it just yet. But I think my next read is probably going to be Redeeming Love, which is going to be my first Christian fiction that I'm going to read. I've heard amazing things about it, and so I'm excited to read that and kind of keep y'all updated on that. That
very
first
cool.
dipping my toe into that genre a little
Lovely.
bit. So
I love it.
So that's kind of what we're updated on our reading, but we're about to start a new book for the podcast. It's for our next book review episode. So we say this every time, but we are so excited. We are so excited to announce. I love this genre. I love this author. I've already read this book, but Cassandra and Angela have not. So I am so excited for this week's episode and book pick to be The Housemaid by Frieda McFadden. So if you've ever read a thriller, you've ever read a mystery, you've probably read one of her books, you probably already read this book. If you haven't, pick it up. But today we're just going to talk a little bit about Frieda McFadden, a little bit about the book, the dedication, all of the goodness that comes before reading a book. So Angela, I think, took the reins on researching, so take it away.
Yeah, and I have never actually read a thriller, so this will be my first thriller. And so at the time we're recording this, I have not started, and so I'm looking forward to jumping into it. Yeah, I haven't started reading it. Cassandra, you made a surprise face.
You haven't even started it yet.
Yeah, I wanted it to be fresh for whenever we review it.
It's a quick read. Like,
it's so quick.
I read it in literally one day whenever I read it. Like, you're going to be fine.
So yes, jumping into who is Frieda McFadden. So just kind of general knowledge about her. She's actually a real doctor. She's a doctor who treats brain disorders. Yeah, so that's
all
like
of
her
a sudden
day
it
job.
all makes sense. Like,
so cool.
Yes, and so that's her day job, and that was her full-time job. I mean, she's kind of dedicated more time to writing, but back when she first started, that's what she was doing, and that was her full-time job at the time. But yeah, she treats brain disorders, so she has a specialty too. But even more so, yes. So she's also a Harvard graduate, and she's a mom of 2 teenagers. So she was born in New York City, which is why so many of her books are set there, and she currently lives in Boston. So there was a cute little tidbit. Oh, I wanted to also say that I got all this information from her personal website. Also, there's an article in the Sunday Times by Will Pavia, Pavia. And then I also listened to a podcast that she was a guest on. So this is where all this information is coming from. But yeah, there's a cute little tidbit on her website. It says, quote, Frieda lives with her family and cat in a centuries-old 3-story home overlooking the ocean, with staircases that creak and moan with each step, and nobody could hear you if you scream. Unless you scream really loudly, maybe. End quote. Right?
Yeah.
So that's part of like her biography, like on her website.
Ooh. Well, I have to say, I have to come out and say that I have read the book already. And so like just kind of getting a bit of her, like reading her style and stuff like that. It just sounds like she really embraces the genre and she really has a love of it. She's got like a dark sense of humor.
Yes, that's exactly why I wanted to include this and kind of share that with you all today and our listeners today, because I got that exact same vibe, Cassandra. Like this is her essence. Like that's who she is. A sense of humor, but also tying in like horror, thriller. So yeah. It's cute. But it's interesting enough too, in the article that I read in the Sunday Times, she said the reporter actually asks her about this quote, like on her website, the one that I just read to you all. And then so in response, she says, quote, it's not really that near the ocean. I was kind of being dramatic. I figure in Boston, the ocean is close enough. So that's what she told the reporter.
She doesn't even like mention the creaking of the stairs or the
nobody
screaming.
Would be able to hear you. Yeah. See, okay.
Yeah. That's funny. It's creepy.
I love that. No, that's so funny.
Yeah. But the fact that she doesn't actually live near the ocean. So it's like, I was being dramatic. It's close enough.
You're just being dramatic about that, but not about the screaming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I had to include that. It was so cute. But yeah, so even more about Frieda McFadden. I actually want to share 5 fun facts. And so one, our first fun fact is she has a fandom, and they actually have a name for their fandom. They call themselves
Let me
the
guess.
Oh.
Not quick enough.
I'm sorry. This is the coffee speaking. I need to stop interrupting you. Like I know you're trying to go.
Let me guess.
No. No, I love it. Please continue. Did you hear what I said?
I heard so I know it's got something to do with that, like the McMurder lovers, McMysterious. But no,
they should. They need to learn from you and take some tips from you, because their name, the fandom name, is McFans.
McFans.
That's a great name.
That's a great name.
And if you're a McFan, amazing. I expected a little bit more, but that's why would I? You know, it's just a name for a fandom. Like, just calm down.
It's just a name for a fandom. This is what we talked about in our last episode. Everybody just needs to calm down. It's not that serious.
McMurder mystery lovers. That's great.
It's just like, why would you choose that? Like with McDonald, like it just immediately is like, you know, like a McChicken. You're a McFan. It's just
that's what it makes me think of too. Like McDonald's. That's literally what comes to mind.
Yes,
but I mean, obviously we know it's her name, like McFadden, right? McFandom, maybe McFanner. No. That's horrible. That's horrible. It's good,
man. But this fandom goes back, I think, decades. Man, I think she started.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. This is not part of the fun facts, but just something I remember she mentioned on the podcast. Is she started writing? She first had a blog, and like she would just, I don't even know what she would blog about. I think like her life or medical school or something. And so she kind of had a small following there. And so, but she self-published her first book through that blog. She like advertised it to them, and it's like, hey, I'm writing this book, and like, here, buy this book. And a lot of people did. I think she sold like 500 copies where she self-published it.
Wow.
And isn't that insane?
That's
So
awesome.
I bet you the McFans started all the way back then.
Yeah. So they're pretty dead set on that name. No pun intended.
Probably.
Yeah,
but
so there's not time to change it.
No.
You're just-
Yeah.
No.
More so, I apologize for trying to change your name. I'm sorry.
So our fun fact number 2, actually, Frieda McFadden is a pen name. So it's completely fake. That's not her real name. And so she does this because she doesn't want to reveal like her true identity. So she's actually like living kind of a double life. And so, yeah. And the reasoning or the rationale that she gives is because she's a practicing physician, and she continues to this day to, you know, be a doctor, and she has patients. So she worries that her patients might feel weird about being treated by a best-selling thriller writer.
Oh my gosh. So does she have like photos of herself out there? Like she has to, right?
Yes. And that's what intrigued me too. I went back to her pictures, and if you look her up, she actually has really distinct, unique features like to her face. I'm like, how can she keep this quiet? But she even says like she's sure even her boss does not know about her writing career, which is so interesting. And so, yeah, if you look at her pictures, she has like short auburn curly hair, and she wears glasses. But once I found out that, you know, this is a pen name and she tries to keep her real identity private, you can kind of, I wonder, and other people have mentioned this rumor too, like if she wears wigs. And
I was just going to say that. I'm looking at a picture of her. It does look like a wig. Like, yeah, it does. And you know what? I respect that. I think there's nothing wrong with wanting to maintain your privacy, especially like if she's still trying to do something that she loves to do. And that's just, that's so cool. That's so cool. It's like she's the William Shakespeare of our time.
Becca, you have thoughts? You have facial expressions over here, Becca.
No, I'm kind of like freaked out. Like honestly, like that line in her bio kind of freaked me out, and now this like really freaks me out. I'm a little scared. I don't know.
You know what? I totally get why you would be scared. Yeah, like now you saying that, like, you know, I kind of see it.
This is where my mind has gone this whole time. I've been a little quiet sitting over here, and y'all have been having a great time, but I'm like internally like, and we're only on fun fact number 2, so I can't imagine how much worse this is gonna get. To have that quote like in your bio, and then for like somebody to bring it up and you're like, you don't even like mention like this great, like that's creepy. Everything that you're telling me right now is giving me like the chills.
I didn't take it that way.
I know. Y'all are having a great time. Y'all are thinking this is just hilarious, and y'all are over here kikiing, and I'm like, this is like not good. Things are shifting in my brain right now. I don't like it. I'm like, girl, like, I wouldn't go to your house if you paid me $1 million bajillion dollars.
And the good thing is, you don't have to. Or
the good thing is,
even
she's
if you
never
did,
gonna invite me now.
I was gonna say, even if she did invite you, you wouldn't even know it was her.
See?
And that's what's scary.
This was scary.
Where are we going with this?
I don't know. Angela asked me what my thoughts were, and so that's my thoughts so far.
Yeah, wait to listen to the next couple points, Becca, and I'm going to check back in with you.
Okay, I'll keep quiet until then.
So she came up with the name Frieda by taking the acronym for this database thing. It's called the Fellowship and Residency Electronic Interactive Database, which helps medical students to find hospital placements. That's how she came up with Frieda. She just added an A to it. But yeah, moving on to fun fact number 3. So across all formats, including translations, she has sold 17 million books. Isn't that insane?
That. Yes.
17 million books. Number 4, fun fact. So when she writes a book, this is something that she said in her article in the Sunday Times. When she starts writing a book, her first draft always goes to her mother, which then her mother proceeds to highlight all of the swear words and gives McFadden alternative words to use instead of the swear words.
Oh, I love that. That's funny.
Oh, isn't that cute?
That is cute.
True mama bear.
See, she's got a caring mother. Like, her mom wouldn't let her do anything. She
a lot of serial killers have caring.
Okay. Frieda McFadden. We are not saying Frieda McFadden is a serial killer.
Obviously.
Okay.
It's a theory.
We're cutting that out.
Cutting that out.
So yes, shows she has a good relationship to her mom. And so fun fact number 5, I'm going to actually tie it to a frequently asked question that she gets, which she's always asked, how do you figure out the twist to your thrillers? And her answer is always like, I don't know. It's like, it just comes from my brain. Like, that's what she says. They just come to me and from my brain. And so, but the way she also rationalized this, and this was in the podcast interview, the podcast is Barely Famous with Kale Lowry. And she says, if she wasn't a doctor, she would have been a mathematician. So she loves math and she loves puzzles. So she thinks of thrillers and their twist as a reverse puzzle. So it makes sense to me, right? She's like super smart, super intelligent. And the other thing that she said in the interview, which I thought was interesting, she says, I think the trick to thrillers is to include red herrings. So she says for the readers, like, she provides these red herrings to throw us off track, to give us something to focus and to make the reader feel like, oh, I got the twist, like in chapter 2. But in reality, she brings in it's actually something completely different. So that's kind of what she attributes it to.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, she really is brilliant. Like, every book that I've read by her, I did not see the twist coming. I think so far, Never Lie is probably my favorite that I've read by her. And The Housemaid is one of my top ones too. So I'm really excited to hear y'all's thoughts on that next week.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, hearing how brilliant she is and how just smart she is, it makes me excited to like pick up her books and read them.
Yes, you would love Never Lie because it's about a therapist.
I think I've heard of it too.
Yeah, you would like it. You would appreciate it for sure.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how I feel next week about reading a thriller.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, and then she also has her husband, who he has a PhD in math. Both her parents were doctors. Her dad was a psychiatrist and her mom was a podiatrist. So yeah, I think she just comes from a brilliant family. It's in the genes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Becca, does that help listening to all the fun facts? Do you feel a little bit better about her?
I do. Yeah. And you know, I want to apologize to the McFans, and I want to apologize specifically to Miss Frieda McFadden, or whatever your real name is.
Another interesting little tidbit that I just have to add because this is reminding me. She says in her writing process is anytime she has an idea of like for a new book and a twist, she runs it by her husband. And her husband is the exact same way and like very analytical and, mathematician, PhD. And so her husband will be really honest with her and be like, no, that's stupid. Like that wouldn't happen. Or he'll give like the green light of like, oh yeah, like that's,
that's plausible.
Yes,
yeah,
that's gonna work. So they're a little duo in that way. So I thought that was cute too.
That is cute.
Yes. So yes, we are getting into the Housemaid. So I wanted to just read the synopsis and kind of give that intro to that. So it was published in 2022. And another side fact, this was the author's first traditionally published book. So before 2022, I think for a decade, she self-published all of her books, which is insane.
That's
right?
amazing.
So the synopsis, it's domestic thriller centers around Millie, the main character, who secures a job as a maid for the affluent Winchester family. Hired on the spot by Nina, the wife, Millie moves into their mansion, living in the attic bedroom. For Millie, who is homeless, this job signifies a fresh start. However, Millie harbors secrets of her own, secrets that the Winchesters are unaware of, including her recent release from jail. As tensions escalate and the family's hidden truths emerge, no one is safe. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
But yes, The Housemaid, it's being turned into a film. Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried. Yes. So it's going to be released this year, December 25th, 2025. So something to look forward to at the end of the year. She has another book that's going to be turned into a movie as well. She said it in their podcast interview.
Oh yeah, it's going to be Never Lie. Netflix is set to adapt the popular Frieda McFadden novel Never Lie with production help from successful Deadpool and Wolverine director Sean Levy.
Which she was so excited when she mentioned it on the interview because she's a huge Marvel fan. So she was like, Deadpool's gonna be a part of the film. And so she was excited about that.
That's amazing.
So,
I can't wait to watch that one because that one is so good.
Yes. And so also we read the dedications. So the dedication to the Housemaid, it says, to my mother for her strength and resilience. So short.
Love it. Love it.
And now knowing that her mother, edits her curse words and stuff, like she has a lot of strength and resilience, to go through and put in her little edits. Not that she always takes them out or listens to everything her mom says, but
yeah. I know the last thing that we like to talk about when we introduce the book is the cover. So what do y'all think? We have it's a mostly blue background. There's a keyhole. There's a big old eye. That's brown eye looking at us.
Yes.
So how do y'all feel about the cover?
I love it. I've never read her book and a book of hers in less than a day. And I feel like everything she does is kind of like straight to the point, which I think after hearing about her makes sense. It's just very straightforward. And I like it.
Yeah, I'll say that even before reading it, the cover really it made me feel kind of scared. Like you see the giant eye and then even on the top there it says from behind closed doors she sees everything.
It brings up the question of whose eye is that? So I haven't read it. I haven't started reading it, so I don't know whose eye is that. I just know from the little synopsis that I've read is, the main character, and you guys can tell me if this is spoiler, but the main character is homeless. And so I'm looking at this eyebrow on the cover, and this eyebrow is very well manicured. So I'm like, I don't know if a homeless person would have a very well manicured. So I'm like, who are we talking to? Who's peeking through the keyhole? So
yeah,
that's my intrigue as someone who hasn't read this yet. So
yeah,
very good.
Yes.
Yeah. So those eyelashes are pretty too.
Yes. Too pretty to be homeless.
Right? I'm on to you, Frieda. Look at me trying to figure out your twist.
I know. And I already told you that you think that you know, but you have no idea.
Right.
By the way, for anybody who is listening to this, I don't know if the deal will still be going on, but I pulled up a picture because I just have this book on my Kindle. But at Target right now, this book is only $6.96. So if you don't have it and you want to go get it now because it's on sale.
Good to know. Thank you, Becca.
Well, thank you so much, Angela. That was wonderful. It makes me so excited to talk next week. We're going to get to reading. I am going to do a reread before because I want it to be nice and fresh and make sure I remember all the twists. It's been a couple years now since I've read it. Then we'll be back next week to do a full review on the book, our first thriller. So that's pretty exciting. Thank you so much for listening. Again, find us on all of our socials. You can find us at the Book Carriers Podcast or the Book Carriers Pod on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, YouTube. You can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. And we see and appreciate every interaction that you guys give us. We love it all. And thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of The Book Carriers.
We hope you enjoyed diving into this week's read with us as much as we did.
Thank you so much for joining us on this literary adventure. Your support means the world to us.
If you loved today's episode, don't forget to follow us on social media for updates, behind-the-scene fun, and more bookish content.
And if you're feeling generous, please rate our podcast 5 stars. Your reviews help other book carriers find us and join our growing community.
Remember, we'll be back with a new episode every week, catching up on our latest read.
Until next time, keep reading and living those amazing stories.
Bye for now.
Happy reading.
I've been called to the pages, and it doesn't take long.